Okay, so how do you find out what jobs are out there in the tech industry? There are many ways, but the probably the most reliable way in America is to go out to a site called the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, which we'll do now, bls.gov, bls.gov, and this is called. This is an organization. So let's talk about this for a second. So the Bureau of Labor and Statistics is an organization in the United States that's responsible for maintaining a bunch of information about the jobs outlook, what's out there, and everything. Um, in my opinion, they are low enough to fly under the radar of political divisiveness that happens in the government. Um, and they are a very boring organization whose sole job is to just deal with statistics about employment and job opportunities and all of those kind of things. And um, they're not particularly cutting edge when it comes to understanding jobs, and that kind of acts against them in some cases. Like, for example, when a new tech job emerges, like AI, you'll notice in the statistics they have a hard time deciding where that goes. And I have some theories about that. So let's just go straight onto the site and go take a look. This is the only site that in the boost that we're going to talk about. There obviously the other way to do this is to go to any of the to go to Indeed or to search for jobs for job postings. Um, but just know that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is a much more reliable. There's another video where I talk about this as well, so this is probably going to be a repeat for some of you. Um, just be very leery of any other resource out there. Make sure that you know what the motivation is for them to produce this thing. When we look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so we know that they are motivated by as close to authentic motivations as that we could have. You go over here under Search BLS and search for jobs, and oh damn, that's kind of cool. How about we search for a job? It's like a lot of different things here. Job openings. You can go do your own exploration. It may change over time. The OOH, the Occupational Outlook Handbook, is the coolest thing. You can get this as an app. You can start looking for jobs here in any kind of ways. But the thing that we're going to zoom right in on is the computer and information technology job sectors, and here we see the breakdown. Um, and I'm just going to bring attention to three primary jobs here that are used for the Beginner Boost. These things are listed on the front page of the Beginner Boost with regard to targeted careers. So um, I've spent way too much time laboring over what material should be included to get everybody started well in a tech job. What does everybody mean? And this kind of delineates what I mean by that, by everybody. These are all the jobs that I feel like the content in the Beginner Boost will prepare you for. And there's some debate about whether the content that I have, like, does a web developer really need to learn Vim? And we can agree to disagree on some of that stuff, but it certainly won't hurt you. And so when I've had to make a decision about whether it applies to everything, those decisions have been largely based on what is the job outlook as captured in the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. I've been following these stats since 2013, um, and it's been very, very telling to see how the numbers change year to year. Unfortunately, that is not captured anywhere. I actually put this in another video. I'm sorry if this is repetitive. There's an old website I have, rtbx.gg jobs, which just gives you a sense of this. You can see the numbers here from back when I originally wrote this. This was several years ago, and now we see the new information. So, computer information scientists. I happen to think. Oh, thank you for the sub. I happen to think that computer information research scientist is where they are now capturing the AI jobs. I don't know that, but it tells you master's degree, median pay, what kind of thing you're going to be doing. Computer network architects, people that deal with networking, their salaries, computer programmers. This is an interesting one because this was actually in decline. This is a tech job that's in decline. So that's something to be careful of and watch out for. What is the difference between a programmer and a software developer? I'll let you read about it. Make sure you understand the difference between that before you go for one of those careers. Computer support specialists, these are great entry level jobs. These are people that, they used to call us desk side support. These are people that are starting, they usually are helping people on site to do things to get going. Comp TAA certification, that kind of thing falls under this. Computer systems analysts. This is always a tough one. What is an analyst? They typically need a bachelor's degree. Computer science, information systems. Um, this is a hard one to quantify. Everybody calls a systems analyst somebody. It's people that are studying how a system works and making it better. Um, and so it's kind of an architectural area. Let me jump right to the three that I think are the most significant. Number one, the information security analyst. This is by far the fastest growing career, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, in all of these. Um, it is growing at a rate of 32% per year. They cannot get people. Earlier today, somebody said, I can't find a job in tech. And I'm like, are you sure you're not looking for the wrong job? Because there's a drought of people. There's not enough people to fill the need for security analysts, according to these statistics. This number jumped. The median pay, last time I checked this, it was around 100. And it's jumped way up because there's a drought. And where there's no supply, the cost of the people that are here goes up. If you like security and hacking and that kind of thing, this is a really, really great career path. I actually was attempting to do this in 2020 when I started streaming, and I abandoned my OCP pursuit for security certification and all this stuff because I discovered, after talking with professionals, that there was a lot of paper pushing. At least half of the job is writing reports and running software that somebody else has written. The really cool thing, the zero-day discovery and hacking and the pen testing kind of things, the actual hacking that is not really the job. And so I decided to not do that and to stick with the very boring operations career. The second job I want to mention is software developers. This is growing at a rate of 25%, and the money is really good. They still recommend you get a bachelor's degree. I don't suggest you get a software developer bachelor's degree. I actually suggest you get a degree in something else, and potentially mathematics or language or liberal art or something, and then put into this. On top of I do not think that a computer science degree is worth it, in my opinion. I know I've read story and heard story after story of people who get CS degrees and can't find jobs because they didn't learn how to do software development. I know that sounds crazy, but we can talk about it. That's pretty much true. Um, you can search for those stories for yourself. Many people agree with that. You definitely want to hire. You want to consider. It's better for you to prove that you know how to think, and to learn how to think. And there's many other things you can do to major in for that. In my case, I majored in Russian, right? And I'm a very well paid infrastructure, engineer who does a lot of seniors, has been paid as a senior software developer as well, all self-taught. And am I making less money than somebody who had a computer science degree? I probably will never know that. But I don't feel that is true. I've known many people that were self-taught, depending on the job. Now, if you're going to be doing software development all the time, and this I talk about this in a different video, you might want to go with more of a CS degree. Web developers and digital designers. This is one I don't want to put out here. This is growing at 16%. I do feel that this particular job market is pretty glutted. And there are a lot of other people that will teach you how to do web development online. There's lots of them, and so I personally would not pursue that. Having said that, I was a web developer when I got into this. Data administrators, database administrators, and architects. This used to be the king of the professions, especially if you learn DB2 for IBM, because it's so hard to find people, and you're responsible for the gems of the company, and it's a high responsibility job. They make a lot of money. Computer support specialists, computer programmers, computer network architects. Computer network architects are probably the fastest path to a tech career. a high-paying tech career because you go get your CCNA, you go get you go to your community college, you get your certificate in Cisco or whatever, and you immediately go to work. This is a pretty cookie cutter sort of career path, um, and a lot of people like this path because there's not a lot of variation and extra side quests that they have to do to prove it. It's like you either know how to administer Cisco systems and map subnets and stuff like that, or you don't. Um, and it pays very high for compared to the amount of training. Many people may find it extremely boring just working with networking, just setting up networks for organizations and debugging the problems that they have with their networks. Obviously, there's a good amount of pay here because there's so much responsibility. If you get your networking wrong, you can literally take down a company with like an ARP packet storm, wrong. There's some, there's a lot of really major responsibilities that go for network. This is also one of the degrees that you can usually get from a community college, that has a lot of value. Really, for cost per what you get out of it is really really high. I mean, it's low cost for what you get out of it. Um, so that would be it. Network and computer systems administrators. Um, the operational jobs are not really here, I don't think. Where's the ones that I would do? Yeah. Okay, computer network and computer systems administrators. Okay, so they mix these two together. So I was speaking specifically about network engineering. Operational jobs don't pay as much, but they're usually a lot more satisfying. And I did another video about this because there's not as much stress as when you're doing software development. They're not growing very fast, but these jobs tend to be very robust. And I did a whole video about how to weather the storm in IT between the boom bust cycles when the bubbles burst. And that fundamentally requires knowing how how to get that job. Every regular viewer knows about this rant. That's true. So this is just me making a video about it so that you can watch it. The takeaway of this video is very simple. Go to the bls.gov, check it out, see which job you want, get to know what it's about, and then start going outside of just this resource and start asking around, see if you can find people who are going to do those things. And you'll probably find several people that you didn't even know who are doing those things, and you know, pin them to the wall and buy them a beer or something, and get them to talk about what they do. And there's another video about how to identify a mentor and to solicit the help of a professional to help guide your career path as you're breaking in. So make sure you watch out that video as well. And that's all for that. So check bls.gov out.